Good afternoon, respective organizers and the delegates and the panelists here who are present here. The topic is very apt to me because being a startup, how innovation would be of very, very useful. It's almost a case study for us. So I thought that I can share this case study, which would give you the real benefits. In the same building, we have received 2 invention awards, and that also would be very much useful so that startups need not need not do only a supporting role. They can also do a leading role if only they adopt invention and innovation. So, with that as a brief, I would like to just move on to my next slide. As such, needless to say, from a startup perspective, I'm just putting all these points. Probably it's for discussion. The renewable energy industry is currently the most rapidly expanding sector worldwide. It has achieved unparalleled growth rate since its conception and implementation. This industry is expanding simultaneously. These are all the very, very important because no other industry in the world in the past has grown as fast as this, the rate of growth. And in contrast to all the other industries, if you just take, they have developed through evolution and gradual growth and geographical expansion. This is entirely different. Another one more thing is, towards the startup, the renewable energy sector offers accessible and affordable technology for startups. Anybody can start their career in the solar or in a renewable sector because the industry is not matured enough and everybody can come and the customer is not fully educated. The policy makers are not fully clear. The suppliers are also do not know what they are supplying. I am just putting it in the other this thing. But this is what is happening, and current policy favors also startups only as an outsourcing becomes more prevalent, and somebody in the discussions are already going on that startups have thrived more in the renewable sector, and because of that, the renewable sector has picked up very fast and it is also filling up the gaps. And renewable energy presents a unique opportunity to startups to enter with the minimal investment. To enter into an EPC, you don't have to have money. You can just go there, get the money from the customer, execute the project, and no working capital is required because they also do that. These are all the favorable climate for the startups. It is available in the renewable energy industry as of today. The business climate, and this is one industry which is simultaneously growing in the entire world, with very, very minimal gap. No other industry has grown like this. Challenges. What are the challenges we feel that as a startup ourselves? The renewable energy industry is expanding rapidly, but it lacks maturity levels. There are no established engineering standards available today because the industry is too new to create them, probably. There is no external support available. If I am an EPC company, I am installing a 100 megawatt project, I cannot go there and seek a support or get a guidance or some institution is not there to just let me know whether at least to check what I do is right. This leads confusion in executing the projects or manufacturing. R&D. There is currently no research and development available for any parts other than solar power plant besides development of solar cells. If you just take anywhere, solar cells are the one which are all being constantly researched. constantly they are trying to increase the energy efficiency, cell efficiency they are trying to increase from 21.25 to 22.65 and 23 point something. So this is what is going on. If you just take any other product, the researches are almost nil. And as a result, pressure to develop better technology. So when there is no researches, so the pressure to develop technology takes a back seat as startups can still conduct their business without it. Because only when there is a pressure, only when there is a competition, only when there is a requirement or a necessity, any company also would indulge itself into a research and development. The rest of the areas of the solar power plant develop through only evolution. Innovation. Innovation is the most necessary activity in renewable energy, since a lot of cost cutting, efficiency improvement, performance optimization, and installation cycle time reduction are required to be attended on a continual basis, because these are all the one which brings down the project cost to substantially. Since this industry attracts a lot of startups due to its inherent benefit already discussed, the market is already flooded and only innovation can differentiate one startup from other contenders. Innovation is also the catalyst for technology growth and business growth. Opportunities. The renewable energy industry plays a very crucial role in achieving net zero. Currently, there are no other promising alternative energy source in sight, even on a laboratory scale, for the next 30 years. Therefore, the business potential for renewable energy is highly probable. The industry is growing all over the world simultaneously, resulting in a very high demand for skilled manpower and startups. What do we do for the next big leap? Startups can make significant breakthrough by focusing on innovation. We are one such example. I will just like to share it with you, which will be very useful. Industry educational institutions should accelerate the teaching of renewable energy as a subject and establish more research laboratories to keep up the industry's growth, because they are also in a very, very infant stage. If I am right, I myself has devised the syllabus and given to 2 or 3 institutions and one university and many such institutions. But if you just see the number of universities, number of educational institutions, they are more than 2,500 or 3,000. But only very few offer this renewable energy, and that also it's in the very, very infant stage. Because when you want to expand, when you want to grow, it is important to have skilled manpower. Encouraging collaboration between industry and institution. This is very, very important, because there is no time left. When we all learned IC engines, at that time the IC engines technology has arrived or matured, and we just went there and we just saw that and read it in the book. Now there are no books. Now there are no laboratories available. Now there are no policymakers to whom we can go and ask, is it right if I just do like this? If I increase my CEF so much, what should I do? So we encountered all those problems, because what do we say is every area, every stakeholder department are in a rising stage only, because none of them are able to guide properly. So all of them have to grow. So research and development is the most important activity, and industry institute interaction that can just boost that. And government also should develop more research and development, or encourage research and development through the institutions, so that the development, the attitudinal development to increase the efficiency and sustainability can be improved. And this is all about this important point, which I just wanted to share it with you. Now I would like to just play what did we do as a startup. Yeah.
Tracker. Brought to you by Ezon Dual Axis Solar Tracker. Invented by Dr. Radhakrishnan. While a fixed tilt solar plant can tap only 55% of the solar power potential, the remaining 45% can be tapped only by using a solar tracker. Though there are single-axis solar trackers and dual-axis solar trackers in the market, only a dual-axis solar tracker can harvest the maximum additional solar power. The primary axis of tilting is horizontal for horizontal dual-axis solar tracker, and the primary axis of tilting is vertical for the vertical dual-axis solar tracker. Our new invention, the horizontal dual-axis solar tracker, is constructed in the principle of horizontal primary dual-axis tracker, which is completely different from the existing vertical primary dual-axis tracker, which is unviable as of today. We are introducing our three inventions. Horizontal dual-axis solar tracker system. Sunlight reflectors assembly. Cloud radar system. Our three inventions in combination can increase the energy generation efficiency by a whopping 100%. Our first invention, horizontal dual-axis solar tracker system, is a game changer in the market. The primary axis of tilting is east-west, and it is horizontal, and the secondary axis is north-south tilting, and it is normal to the primary axis. Every row of our dual-axis solar tracker has 8 panels and 5 pillars. Every row is independent and controlled separately. We can add more trackers, both in series and in parallel, to form the required capacity. Our second invention, sunlight reflector assembly, is an add-on frame with every single bifacial solar panel mounted on our horizontal dual-axis solar tracker. Our horizontal dual-axis solar tracker system can accommodate any size and any wattage capacity bifacial panels. Each bifacial panel is securely assembled inside the frame of the sunlight reflector assembly. The add-on reflector frame is assembled at the bottom side of each bifacial solar panel, with 4 reflective surfaces facing the bottom side of the bifacial panels. The reflector assembly is securely fitted at the frame, holding the bifacial solar panel. When the direct sunlight falls on the top side of the solar panel, a portion of the sunlight falls at the reflective surfaces available on both sides of the bifacial solar panel. Also, the falling sunlight is reflected back to the bottom side of the bifacial solar panel to increase the intensity of the light at the bottom side of the bifacial solar panel. This additional intensity of light is created by the add-on sunlight reflector assembly over and above the albedo reflected light. The added-on sunlight reflectors with every solar panel form an integral unit, which is tilted in the north-south direction and east-west direction to track the sun for the maximum period in a day and all through the year. Since the sunlight reflectors are assembled integrally with each bifacial solar panel, whenever the solar panel is tilted, the sunlight reflectors also tilted to continue to reflect direct sunlight towards the bottom side of the bifacial solar panel. Our third invention, cloud radar system, with light-deducting sensors in the X and Y axes on its surface, identifies the location of the brightest spot in the sky and shares it with the central tracker control unit system to align the tracker accordingly. It is a common phenomenon that whenever the sun is masked by a cloud, the nearby cloud spot is brighter than the sun's spot. After all, what we need is a better intensity of light, and hence our cloud radar system identifies the brightest spot in the sky during the cloud movement. The artificial intelligence system, incorporated in our cloud radar system, monitors the brightest spot in the sky and shares this alternate location of the brightest spot with the central tracker control to change the tilting angles of the dual-axis solar tracker to face the newly found brightest spot in the sky. This activity is repeated every 10 minutes to save the loss of power generation due to the clouds. 1 unit of cloud radar system is sufficient for every solar project. You are watching the video of 1 row of our new invention, horizontal dual-axis solar tracker. Each row can house 8 bifacial solar panels and is supported by 5 pillars. The east-west tilting is powered by 2 linear actuators. By design, there is a free gap is maintained between the 2 successive solar panels to avoid the shadow effect. This same free gap is also useful to allow the speedy wind to pass through, to reduce the wind force acting on the structure. The north-south tilting is powered by 2 linear actuators. The 8 panels are gang tilted by the 2 linear actuators. Both the east-west and north-south tilting are guided by our unique proprietary algorithm. Though both the tilting is separate, they are integrated to track the sun for most of the period in a day and all through the year. The east-west tilting range is plus or minus 60 degrees. The north-south tilting range is plus or minus 36 degrees. The total power consumption for powering the horizontal dual-axis solar tracker is just only 0.5% of the power that is generated. During the night and during the heavy wind speed, the east-west frame is maintained at the horizontal position to offer the least resistance to the wind forces. Now you are watching the tilting activity of our horizontal dual-axis solar tracker tracking the sun. A comparison of the power generation curves between a fixed tilt system with monofacial panels and a horizontal dual-axis solar tracker system with bifacial panels. You would find a 100% additional power generation. The 4 components of additional power generation. 100% additional power generation when compared to an equivalent fixed tilt solar plant. The levelized cost of energy is compared between various solar plant systems. 25% lesser levelized cost of energy is achieved by our horizontal dual-axis solar tracker over an equivalent fixed-tilt system. Now let us look at the insurability factors. Since the speedy wind passes through the free gaps maintained between the modules, the wind force acting on the structure is reduced considerably. Since each module is independently tiltable, it avoids the stockpiling of snow or sand. 1 pillar per 1.6 panels gives a greater ground stability. The maximum height of our horizontal dual-axis solar tracker system at maximum tilt is just 3 meters. Since 3 meters fall closer to the ground and hence attracts the least wind force. This improves the safety index. All 4 factors assure a better insurability. The shorter tracker length of 16 meters and the shorter pillar pitch length of 4 meters have distinct advantages that offer better land utilization. 1. Fits in with any land geometry. 2. Accommodates with any land undulations in continuous rows. 3. Accommodates with any land undulations within the tracker length. 4. Accommodates with any land slope in continuous rows. Now let us look at the unique advantages. When a gust of wind zooms through an open space, it creates eddy currents that effectively whisk away heat, resulting in lower panel temperature. Regardless of the terrain, the panels are always kept horizontal. And hence, the design of maintaining the panel surface horizontally, while compromising with undulations and slope, ensures the highest power generation. Our horizontal dual-axis solar tracker can be deployed in most of countries in the world. We can cover all the countries falling between 60 degrees north and 60 degrees south. Now, let us look at the exclusive features of horizontal dual-axis solar tracker. 100% automatic. Proprietary algorithm. Hybrid tracker control system, open loop plus closed loop. Artificial intelligence powered cloud radar system, CRS. RTA, ready to assemble, concept for easy erection. No scheduled maintenance is required. Now look at the unmatchable benefits of our invention over an equivalent fixed-tilt solar plant. The project cost is reduced by 25%. The land area is reduced by 25%. The LCOE is reduced by 25%. The payback period is reduced by 42%. IRR is increased by 40%. Post-repayment revenue is increased by 64% in 25 years life period. The capacity utilization factor is increased by 100%. Awards won by our invention. Horizontal dual-axis solar tracker system. Received the Best Invention Award from the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Tamil Nadu Government. Received the Best Invention Award in Renewable Energy from the Indian Chamber of Commerce and the Ministry of Power, Government of India. Received the Best Invention Award from the Confederation of Indian Industries in the national level competition. Received the Global Environment Award 2023, Platinum category in Energy Efficiency, awarded by the Energy Efficiency Forum at the World Renewable Energy Technology Congress. Thank you.
So, thank you. This is the advantage of the invention or innovation if a startup gets into. It took almost 9 years for us. Of course, I had the background of BHEL. I was an employee of BHEL in the past. It was a thermal power plant and nuclear power plant. Now we have to shift, the paradigm shift. One thing I can tell you, there is lot could be done. Lot could be done if only people can sit. Now that, they get a business, there is no problem at all. There is no pressure at all. So they simply just take the business and cut across and save 10 paise, 20 paise, they get along. So this is what is going on there. To improvise, to improve, to entice, or to make them to do the invention or innovation, we need to set up on the policies also. Very important. Policy? Last time I remember Dr. Razan sir was telling me, now we have already immediately we met SECI and told no tender should read megawatts anymore, because it should read only number of units. Because if you put megawatts, we are at the loss. Because having increased the productivity by 100%, we cannot participate because no megawatt. Now they have changed it also. Now they have changed one another step forward. Now LCOE is the only criteria. So today the ecosystem of the government changing to the dynamics of the development also is very good. And one more thing, CUF, cumulative utilization factor. What every DISCOM is telling is we will stick on to only 17%, 18%. What we do is 35%. So when we go 35%, no, 35%, no, they don't understand. Not that we are not blaming them, because this is where the link need to be bridged. There is another reason, thanks to last time when I came here, it was a real benefit, and this time on CF also, now SECI also has understood. Yes, SECI also said, yes, now we will take it forward. So this is not from a very big group or very big industry or very big background or very big brand. We are only a startup. We could go there, we could discuss. He only gave the encouragement, and he only stopped at that time, asked me to play the video. I still remember what did he do, because this is where the ecosystem works. So, startups need not feel that they are the startups. Of course, every company before they became big, so they also, one day, they were a startup only. So, we are like this only. So, this is where we are. This is a case study for all of you. A startup can bring, this is the world's first dual-axis solar tracker. Last month, we were there in Germany. We released this product in the Intersolar, and we were rubbing shoulders with the giants in the field, the top 10. All of them, they came to our stall. Our stall was very small compared to them. But they all came, they all said it was very good. So this is the fruit of invention, fruit of innovation. This is how the ecosystem. I have already set up 2 research centers and 2 engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu. Now that research center, we have already promised, we will make this research center as a tracker research center, number 1 in the country. So we are already into that. This thing is working on it. And thanks for all your support. Thanks for all your recognition. Every small recognition helps a startup to work on this. So this is how that things are moving. So that's all from me. Now I leave it to the floor.